house farm. Little bit of bird song in the background. I just wanted to show you some of these phenomenal buildings before I spin you around to show you what I'm here for. And it's linked to a former video I did, and the video was the cast iron church St Michael's in the Hamlet video, which I will leave a link to up here, because it's a quite significant church, because it's one of three in Liverpool. Couldn't even get me words out, my face is that cold. It's one of three churches in Liverpool that was built predominantly using cast iron. So have a little look at that. Hopefully you find that video quite interesting if you're into old buildings and churches. But where I am now, I want to show you the reason that that church was built. And that reason was because of the overspill from Toxteth Park area, where the parishioners started becoming too numerous, so they needed to spread out, and that was why that cast iron church was built in that video. So feast your eyes on the original. So this is one of the original churches where all the Toxteth Park area used to congregate for mass, and as the populace expanded from the Liverpool centre and the wealthy merchants started putting down roots in this area, there was literally, as I've said, there's too many people to attend church, and they needed to expand, and that's why other churches were built in other areas, and then merchants then moved to other areas, spreading the wealth and building more quite fantastic houses in like the Egbert area, which is close to Toxteth and Dingle, where we are now. And this church, I'm going to walk you around. This is actually one of the, I think this is the rear entrance, because I'm not too clued up on the history of this church, because I've not read up on it. I've just stumbled across it today because this is where I'm working at the moment. I'm in a couple of roads away from here, but I clocked this when I was walking past, going up towards the petrol station. And we've got a little sign here, well, quite a big sign, and that's the Christ Church Toxteth Park and St Michael in the Hamlet with St Andrew. So as I said before, this is just one of the churches linked to the other churches that were used as overspill. So I'll walk you around the front, but I just love ecclesiastical buildings because the architecture is just appeals to me, and I like the fact that big churches and spires can be seen from a long way away, so you can always feel like you're walking towards home when you see the spire, if that's where you grew up. And that's the same as the one in St Oswald's, which is the area I'm from, when I used to come home and then walking up Edge Lane, because it was too cheap to pay for a taxi, and I could see the spire from miles around. And with the churches, you can see a lot of the buildings around old churches in areas like this, they'll be quite substantial, because this was where all of the people who had wealth lived, and they were all close to major churches. And this house is a case in point. It is just absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, with modern living, a lot of the splendid houses were cut up into flats and made a lot smaller than what they were originally intended to be. And let's walk you in here. And like all churches, unfortunately, again, you can see a lot of disrepair on old churches, because it costs so much to keep them maintained. I love all that, where you can see the statues on the, well, you've got on some churches you can see the grotesques. I don't know why they've got all those demonic faces on them, but you can see like the old scary faces on a lot of the churches. But this one looks to be of an angel, which is probably fitting for the surrounding. But you can see there a case in point about the maintenance issues and how easy it is for old buildings like this to suffer disrepair. But all that moss there is indicative of quite a bit of a leak. So we've got some gutter issues and roofing issues there. and all of these gutters and drain pipes. It looks like new additions because you can see, if you look at this, it's painted and rusted. And then when we get up to the top, in the hopper there where the rust is, you can see it looks like a more modern addition there, to take the water off the actual roof and drop it into that hopper. So maybe they've been changed in the past, which is good because at least it's rectified the problem on this side of the building. And can you get out there? Yeah, you can get out there. So I'll walk you down now because apparently the main entrance is on this road. So hopefully the doors are quite spectacular when I get round the front. It's a mystery to me too. So we're all here together now, walking around for the first time. Another example of the wealth spreading out from around the churches. You just have to see those fantastic buildings on the other side of the road there. Wow, some crackers. And to give you a good view, I'll get over the other side of the road and spin you around to see the church. Yes, it looks much better when you can see the spire up close. Just let that milk float go past. And it's still in use today because they seem to be making a point of suggesting that it's 10:30 a.m. for Sunday service. So delightedly, if that's a word, I'm delighted to see that it's still in use, because so many of them are falling into the hands of developers and being split into living accommodation and not used for their intended purpose. But that spire is fantastic. The tower, unfortunately the weather's not the best to show it. It's always better with a bit of blue sky, because as soon as you lift the camera up on a cloudy day, it just makes everything look dark. Let's see if we can get a better view. Fantastic. Just amazes me how well these were built, considering a lot of them were built before even electricity and modern scaffolding and things. But when you get up close, they are substantial. You just have to look now as I'm spinning it up. It's fantastic. But we can't do nothing about the weather, so we'll do what we can to show you. And this can be seen, or it would have been seen, for miles around back in the day, before all the modern developments and high-rise buildings are put up. And the tile in there, it's like you see the on a lot of the old Victorian and Georgian properties, you get like the Minton tiles and the decorative tiles as soon as you walk through the front door. And these tiles there, they just look fantastic to me. I love it. I love that sort of pattern. Certainly appeals to me, which you wouldn't think, considering I live in a boxy modern new build type house. But it's a means to an end. We'll get Scouse Farm one day. I'll be able to move to an older place with a massive garden, so I can grow lots more food and maybe grab a few chickens and ducks and stuff. When the cat goes, obviously, the cat won't be pleased. But I think we've seen enough now. So thank you all very much for watching. Yet another beautiful church in the city of Liverpool. So have yourselves a great day. And Scouse Farm, we'll see you all again soon.